Hi, YouTube friends and family. I'm here to make an announcement. I'm considering tentatively to blow the whistle on the what I would describe now as the mutiny. It was mutiny. um, Mutiny against the British public, tax-paying British tax-paying public, a mutiny against the headquarters English broadcaster because we basically became an enclave where we run ourselves so that we can keep a secret, which I'll discuss later, which is basically poor management decisions uh, leading to mismanagement, leading to problems that they wanted to cover up. I'll talk about that later. Being autistic, I was informally diagnosed with autism in around about August 2001. 2 years after that, that was informally diagnosed. The NHS, not good. No, never go there again. Nope, I'll never go back to the NHS autistic people for diagnosis. They said you have a mask. We don't know what to do. I said, yeah, it's PTSD. They went, oh right, okay. Well, we're not too sure what to do about that. And of course, then I realised later that I was diagnosed with PTSD 3 years before. They didn't tell me why, because they don't communicate with me. They don't talk. They don't want to talk about it because I think they're frightened of their complicity and the fact that previous surgeries, previous NHS have behaved badly, which I've said. They don't want to talk about it because I can't get a lawyer, I can't get an advocate. So anyway, in short, I was due. So please bear in mind if I'm thinking visually, I'll after I'm looking away. There will be no eye contact. It's very difficult. I struggle with that. I don't actually. It's normal for me. But please bear in mind. I also I go off script. Sometimes I talk fast. I can slow down, but please make accommodations. But most importantly, bringing since August 2023, I've been able to realise that I can communicate, but only bring acceptance. Is a spiritual thing. Bring acceptance to the fact that the NHS will never treat me, as my therapist said. They'll never treat a person with autism and PTSD. I'm paraphrasing what she said. They will never treat you. PTSD, there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do. But I think, what about the gaslighting? What about this beheading thing? What about this illegal porn they're repeatedly putting on people's computers just to shock them? And then to laugh at your responses when you come down, you see they put it on desktop. That's what they do when they're in denial of mutiny, and they're targeting neurodiverse people and not just me. I have lots of evidence. I have lots of audio tapes, and all the emails evidence. So three things: blow the whistle, create a GoFundMe account, and I have a diary of events that was in pencil and an infographic, and it's like a pencil timeline. I have many pages of these diary of events, but I translated that in 2012. I went to Australia, autistic burnout, came back recovered because it's so chill in Australia, just lots of fishing, and that was it. And came back and I decided, right, let's play my guitar and do a bit of writing. Guitar writing, and 6 weeks later, the symptoms all came back because I was writing about the grievance procedure. But I have that book. It's 97,000 words. It's about the new media television stream business I worked at before, where we were made redundant. The English broadcaster came in and purchased us, but they made all the mistakes. And they discovered they made mistakes, and we were all sworn to secrecy. Lord of the Flies, Mutiny was earlier on. I'll describe all these different topics. Someone said, "What's mutiny?" I'd have to say, right, I'll do a mind map. A day later, I talk. I can't answer the questions. I can try. If you feed off of my responses that are broken and fragmented because of PTSD, and you're not making accommodations to allow me to be in a stress-free environment and don't put it all on me, then it'll go badly. Secondly, £750,000 is 2 years loss of salary. Is that appropriate? Too much? I don't know. But with that, I might consider starting a business called Neurodiversity Filmmaking, exploring topics such as can we have a neurodiverse transgender, say, just an example, or just a neurodiverse autistic or ADHD James Bond. My therapist said that's not possible. I'd like to explore that topic. I've got loads of ideas, hundreds of ideas, but I can't transfer my pencil drawn notes into the computer. Using the computer, I mean, I've got a degree in robotics. I used to work at one of the largest corporations in the world, an English broadcaster, and now I can't do any of that. But I can, but much more slowly. I don't want to have to have screens scrolling up too fast because and you're trying to bring it down and you move it across and the cursor moves and no, that's it. I'll get up and walk away. I can't keep doing that. I just want to focus on creativity. So I think that's it. Once again, should I blow the whistle? What do people think? The people did threaten me. They were threatening, but the threats against my person, you won't believe. You won't believe. And I now realise that they were targeting me because of my neurodiversity. I was pointing the failures of the workplace, and because of my trauma since my childhood, a malignant narcissistic stepfather used to beat the crap out of me. He beat the crap out of me when I was 12 years old and threw me out. So I had to go and live in a stable for 2 years until I was 14. Oh no, sorry. When I was 14, I went and lived there until I was 16, and I went straight into the British Army, which I was bullied, and they threatened to kill me there. But because of this trauma, it causes fawning, which is an unconscious mechanism of people pleasing to avoid conflict. There's also unconscious. So sometimes you often do things. I mean, that you think, why do they do that? You just go along. You just go along with it. You just don't even realise you're doing it. Nothing nefarious or malevolent, but just silly stuff. People just draw you into their silly games or behaviour, like they're driving in a car and then you realise they're drunk and you go, what? But you should have known. I should have known. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to leave it at that short message. Once again, the GoFundMe, I'm not asking for my family and friends to give me money. They'll probably have to invest in Tasmania, on Mount Wellington and Hobart, on one of these klaxon alarms, air raid sirens. Toby's got some money. He might come to Australia, chill out, do some fishing to convalesce again. Sound the klaxon alarm. But there may be people around the world that are neurodiverse, that have financial resources, that may well want to think, hold on, this English broadcaster, whoa, is that right? They might want to hear the story, they might want to pay for that, but I can't edit it, I can't look at it, and I will not talk to a judge or police officer unless I have advocate, legal representation in Great Britain, or even legal advice. Never had it, apart from the Citizens Advice Bureau. I'm a reasonably intelligent person, and I'd also like medical treatment within Great Britain, which has never happened. I've tried to receive it, and all you do is turn up to be abused. In other words, they will not make accommodations which you desperately need. Right, that's 6.5 minutes. We'll leave it at that. This is about the 40th or 50th time I've done this video. Let's see if I post this or not. What I would possibly do next is this is my map, which has got very messy in the past few days, and I can't read it. I do it every time. I have hundreds of them, hundreds, if not thousands, of mind maps, and I just really need someone to take over. But I don't want to be victimised by Great Britain's government, thinking that I'm a whistleblower that can be taken advantage of and just blamed, because they blame me and the Greens for going around physically assaulting people and threatening people. But that's preposterous. It was the other way around. I was sexually assaulted, physically assaulted, shouted, screamed out, and people go, ooh, ooh, when you're just sitting there and go, smash your face in. And it's just sitting, you turn around, they do that, you go, what the hell? Because I was fawning, I was going, give it a rest, guys, give it a rest, they do it again. And this was on the house, suffering from PTSD, going through my second stress breakdown. I genuinely believe it to be hate crimes or hate crime instances and possibly torture, to try and trigger trauma responses that I had from my childhood, using repeated exposure to snuff movies, putting illegal porn on your computer, so when you sit down you see it on the desktop. And remember, this is all 8 English broadcaster senior managers doing this. You ever think they're going to admit to that? But it only happens when you're like me and you just don't know what to do or say, and you go, right, I'll give it a rest. This is utterly inappropriate. You take them aside and just keep doing it. Anyway, 8 minutes. Right, better leave that. Nanu, hi guys in Australia and Tassie. Oh, and other friends in England.